Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us at our Lunch and Learn volunteer opportunities at Good Shepherd Community Health. All right, my name is Miranda Rector, and I am the volunteer coordinator, and I work under Jessica Reker, who is the director of community health and outreach. My job is to process the volunteer applications and inquiries that come in to Good Shepherd, and I schedule all the volunteer interviews, and then I work on finding placement within Good Shepherd Health systems to see where there's a good place for volunteers to volunteer and what meets their needs. Jessica and I work together on onboarding and orientation, and she also oversees and supervises the volunteer program as a whole. I also work with Miguel Ascencio in student experiences. We work with job shadows, and he also is specializing in high school outreach and making sure that the high school programs here in Hermiston and Umatilla know what type of opportunities they have at Good Shepherd. Carollyn Robinson, RN, is the coordinator for Van John Hospice, Memorial Hospice, and she does the hospice volunteer training and manages all hospice volunteers. Current volunteer opportunities at Good Shepherd include our caravan transportation service. We also have our auxiliary, who's been with us for a long time. And as I mentioned, we have Van John Memorial Hospice volunteer opportunities and our student experiences as well. Joining us today to present for student experiences is Miguel Ascencio, and he will talk a little bit about what that is and what it means to volunteer for them.
Hello, my name is Miguel Ascencio. I am one of the student experiences coordinators here at Good Shepherd. So we started student experiences about September of last year. It's a more formal way for students to come into the hospital to either job shadow and see what we do in the hospital. The point of this is that we want to show students that there is more to healthcare than just being a doctor or a nurse. There's other things going on behind the scenes that are important to be able to have be able to run a hospital. So right now for job shadows, we accept job shadows from approved high school or college programs that require a certain amount of hours for them to graduate or to be admitted into a program. We also reach out to high schools for volunteer opportunities, such as our Family Health and Fitness Day that is coming up on September 23rd. We need volunteers for that event as well. So if students are interested, we would love to have them there. How we started student experiences is we started with guest speakers at the Umatilla High School. So each week we would have somebody from a different department go into the high school and talk about what they do, what their job position is, what they like and don't like about the position, or any other questions that the students may have. We also took feedback from the students to see what positions they would want to hear from within the hospital. And then around March, we implemented job shadow rotations. So we would bring in the students from the Umatilla High School every 2 weeks, and they would rotate throughout the hospital on different positions. So that way they can kind of get a feel of different positions that are not just doctors and nurses. We also had them do kind of like front desk, MA, stuff like that. We had them rotate with the employees just so they can get a different view of how a hospital runs. So currently in 2023, our job shadows have done over 180 hours of shadowing amongst 8 students. And in the fall of 2022 to the end of 2023 school year, there were 16 Good Shepherd departments and 20 employees represented at the Umatilla High School as guest speakers. This year, we are expanding to Hermiston High School. So we'll be having guest speakers as well as job shadow rotations throughout the hospital with Umatilla and Hermiston High School. And that was it for my presentation. Thank you guys very much.
All right, up next, we have Caravan, and presenting for Caravan is Brittany Dunham. Okay, so in her place will be Jessica Reker, my boss. All right, let's see what we have for Caravan here. Caravan is a free transportation service that we have at Good Shepherd that we offer to all Good Shepherd services or affiliate locations. Yep. Well, look, I'm skipping ahead already. So any Good Shepherd service, so any location or service that we offer, whether it's your on-site or off-site location or any of our affiliate locations. Free medication home delivery from Good Shepherd's Pharmacy. So we started this during COVID and we have continued this. This is going to be an ongoing service that our Caravan provides. It is free to any patient that requests it. And so if you're interested in medication delivery, they will bring you your meds at home. Primarily volunteer run service. We do have 7 Caravan volunteer drivers active right now and 4 staff members. Each of our staff members we have 1 full-time scheduler and then 4 part-time drivers, but everybody else is completely volunteer that runs Caravan. A lot of our volunteers have been with Caravan 20 plus years and they just love it. Through the pandemic, Caravan continued to offer these services through our community. Caravan is one of the only services that never shut down or low census or anything. We still had to bring people to the hospital all through COVID. And then in 2022, we provided over 8,000 free rides, 1,400 medication deliveries, and we had 4,600-ish, almost 4,700 volunteer driver hours. So that's just volunteers and their free driving hours that they provide for Caravan. We are still looking for part-time volunteers. We are fully staffed, but we're always accepting new volunteers if you're interested in driving for Caravan. Shifts are widely available. Caravan does run Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 6 p.m. So we're very flexible if you have any time and want to drive and help get people to their services. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jessica.
Next, we have June Rosenburg. She is speaking on behalf of Tim Glass. He was our president for Auxiliary and he recently passed away. He was supposed to present today, so may he rest in peace. June is going to be presenting on his behalf. And I can give it.
Wow. Thank you. I'm the new president. I'm gonna hide behind the podium because I'm scared. Well, the auxiliary has been serving the hospital since 1956. Right now, we only have 32 auxiliary members. Before COVID, we had twice that many. We had 64. And we volunteer in the areas of day surgery and the gift shop, the front desk, and over in the plaza reception. And we're putting in about 40 hours a week helping the hospital. And the hospital or the auxiliary consists of volunteer members serving the hospital in many ways, focusing on public service and participating in money-raising projects. We provide these projects, we give them to the hospital foundation. And in the last 4 years, well, the years of 16, 17, 18, and 19, pre-COVID, we gave $80,810. In 2016, we gave $15,165. In 2017, we gave $20,645. In 18, $22,000. And in 19, $23,000. Then COVID came along, shut down all our money-making adventures, which was having sales in baked food sales, little craft sales. We had Books Are Fun come in. Our gift shop was closed. That's our biggest moneymaker. I think last year our gift shop might have made $13,000. Anyway, we're trying to get back up and running again so that we can again donate to the foundation. Each year we give medical scholarships to students that are pursuing a medical career, totaling $10,000. That sound good? So we are welcoming new members. And if anybody is interested, applications are available in the gift shop or they can sign up online. The annual dues are only $10. There's a joining fee of $5. And you do need to pass a drug test and what's that other one? Background. You have to pass a background check with a $5 initiation fee and then $10 a year. There is TB screening provided and your flu shots annually. There's several perks the hospital does offer us. We get a 25% discount at the cafeteria. And if you buy retail at the pharmacy, it's 15% off. On your prescriptions, it's 10% off. And at the medical equipment, I have a fact here. I went there recently to the medical equipment store and I bought a new chair. It was a lift chair. It was $1,800 and I spent $850. So that's almost $1,000. That's not why I am a volunteer though. I really want to promote the hospital and keep it shining. I want to have integrity, compassion, accountability, respect, and excellence. Those are the words that we need to deal with to have interactions with our customers and coworkers. That's it.
Thank you so much.
So, you know, anybody that would like to join us, we would love to have them.
And next we have the Van Zon Memorial Hospital. Carollyn Robinson will be presenting.
Thank you. It's good to see so many young people here. Are you all ready to be volunteers?
Yes.
Cool. Cool. Well, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about hospice, what it is, and again, what we do, and that hospice has been serving this community now for 30 years, over 30 years. And we have some very long-term hospice volunteers with us. I don't know, Pat, can I call on you to say Pat's been with us probably close to 20 years. And then Ken sitting next to her is another one. They dual role, you know, they have their role in auxiliary, but they also have more time to offer in hospice as well. So these are some really dedicated people. I appreciate them very much. Hospice is about caring for people in their final days that are facing a life-limiting illness that there's not a cure for, they're no longer seeking treatment, but they are needing support. And so we have a hospice team that goes out to visit them either in their homes or in assisted living facilities or residential care facilities. Sometimes people think of hospice as a hospice house. We don't have that here. It's not a facility. So our hospice is what they call a home hospice. We go out into the homes to do that. So first of all, hospice is covered under the Medicare benefit. So the services that we'll talk about today are covered under that service. So somebody who meets that criteria, we have our team, experienced nurses with specialized education in pain management and symptom management. We have nurses aides that help with personal care. We have our social worker and chaplain who also seek and help with bringing their expertise of spiritual and emotional support to our patients and our families. So not just the patient is our center of care, but also their family and their caregivers who help with that. We also have our hospice volunteers who are kind of the icing on the cake. They are very special people that can go in to visit with families, Some do respite and stay with the family and the patient for a longer period of time. We also have a lot of support with volunteers in the office that do a lot of extra work in that field. And I see we're moving along, so about our volunteers. We like to celebrate our volunteers. They're very special people. And there are some quotes that I really appreciate. That first one: to make a difference in someone's life, you don't have to be amazing, rich, talented, or beautiful. You just have to be you and care. And that's really what it's all about. Also, hospice, under the hospice Medicare benefit, we're able to provide equipment, hospital bed, oxygen. We provide medications for comfort. And then we also provide follow-up bereavement support and grief support after their loved one dies. And so I always do this with my hand. The patient and their family are in the palm of our hand, and we have our team, equipment, medications, bereavement, and we come around and we support that family. And that's really what hospice is. It's about relationship. It comes alongside to support for the journey. These are some of the exciting things our volunteers have been doing. We too were hit pretty hard with COVID. And so we are getting back in the groove, but supply and medication delivery, our volunteers are able to. Our service area is a 60-mile radius. So we go as far as Boardman to the west, and we go up into Pilot Rock, Athena, Pendleton. So we have a broad space, and sometimes people need their supplies delivered or medications delivered that the nurse wasn't able to pick up. And so we have volunteers that will do that. Flower delivery, that's what we were busy doing this morning, getting our flowers delivered. Teresa from My Garden Overfloweth just has gorgeous flowers that we get to take out to people. And that really brightens their day. We again have the administrative assistants in the office, assist with fundraising events. Right now, we really could use more social volunteers visiting patients and their families. This is an area that we do need more volunteers in. Volunteering with hospice is a commitment, and there is training. So we don't just send you out without training. And I do want to say, I wanted to share some things from the National Hospice and Palliative Care Association. Edo Banak is the CEO, was the CEO, and this is pre-pandemic. And he, it was during National Volunteer Week that he shared that there are over 420 trained hospice volunteers who provide 19 million hours of service every year to people who are on the journey at end of life. Also, Ira, brings out an important part that sometimes isn't always thought about, and that we are federally mandated under Medicare that 5% of all our patient care hours be provided by hospice volunteers. And so he says this requirement reflects the vital role that volunteers play in hospice. And the hospice program, it also makes sure that the hospice program has roots deep in the community. And I think that's what is so special about the hospice volunteering program, is that you really are here supporting your community and your neighbors and your friends. Sometimes it gets pretty close, and we do have our friends on service. That is what the program is about. More than 1.5 million people in the U.S. and their families are cared for by hospice every year. So that's just some statistics on a global scale. So I think my time is up, so I will stop there. If you have any questions, I have some cards and information for what hospice volunteers do. Thanks.
Yes, afterwards, please see Carollyn if you have any questions, and you can always email her at hospice@gshealth.org to get more information and to learn more about that program. So what is the process to volunteer at Good Shepherd? Well, of course, we ask that you fill out an application online. That is our main source of receiving your application. However, if you don't have access to a computer, you can go and find the paper form at our gift shop. Our age requirements are 16 years or older with parental consent. Once you fill out that application, actually, I wanted to mention our volunteering is unpaid, but we do celebrate our volunteers in different ways, as in celebration luncheons or gifts. And we do treat our volunteers as we would treat a Good Shepherd employee, because we want you to know and want them to know that they do, we do appreciate their work, and they do mean a lot to Good Shepherd as a whole. And as you heard, the auxiliary and hospice, you know, they do enjoy some of the perks that come with volunteering as well. Once you complete your application, I will review your application and see what type of open positions are within Good Shepherd. And then if we find something that fits your needs or your suggestions, then we go ahead and schedule an interview and make sure that it's just a right fit. And we ask simple questions as to why you want to volunteer with Good Shepherd and what exactly you're looking for. After that interview, if we decide it is a good fit, we continue on with onboarding with human resources and infection control. And as you heard, a background check is required. We do drug testing, and then we also do some blood work. And this is for all of the volunteer areas that we spoke about. This is required for all of them, except for job shadowing. That's a little different, but all volunteering goes through this process. Going forward, how we have really been trying to streamline our volunteering here at Good Shepherd. And one way we have done that is we did send out a survey to all of our department heads. We have been reviewing that survey and seeing what type of other opportunities there are here at the hospital for volunteers. I do reach out to the people who respond, and we meet up and talk about job descriptions and what exactly they need, what that volunteer will be doing. And I start to create a job description, and we have that on hand. So as we receive volunteer applications, then I will distribute those descriptions accordingly. Overall, we have really been trying to work on streamlining our onboarding and training process to include group orientation and required annual hospital training classes. As I said earlier, that our volunteers are treated like employees, and employees do have to go through certain orientations and certain hospital required training. So we are working on streamlining that for our volunteers and creating classes for them so they can stay up to date with the processes within the hospital. I also have been working on community outreach. I have been invited to some community table talks where volunteers throughout the community get together for lunch and whatnot. And I've been invited to share what Good Shepherd offers for volunteering. We have also been talking about expanding on social media and sending out some flyers and letting people know, hey, we are open for volunteers to start joining us, and we would love for you to submit an application. And of course, we do events. We actually have an upcoming event at the chamber, and we will be there with a vendor table and with applications and to answer any community questions that comes our way. You can apply online or paper form at the gift shop. And we also have a cute little QR code here. You might find these at some of the desks throughout the hospital, but you can always come up afterwards and scan this, and this will take you directly to our online application for you to fill out, and that will go directly to our volunteer department.